Welcome back. All right, so 3 games in the NHL tonight. Of course, tomorrow's a big day. First off, there's 10 games tomorrow. They're all on at the same time, almost, anyways. So that'll be fun after a relatively light night tonight. But of course, tomorrow, reverse retros drop. So I'll be up early. Odds are we'll have a video early. I'll be doing a reaction video. I'll do a power rankings of them. And then we'll see how that power rankings measures up once I have them in my possession. All right, and I don't have a timeline for when I'll have them in my possession either. Could be a while. All right, first off, we're going to talk about the Philadelphia Flyers and the Florida Panthers. So if you're a Flyers fan and you're optimistic, I don't think this game takes away that optimism. If you're a Philadelphia fan and you're a pessimist and you believe this is all built very shaky ground, then you can find some information from tonight's game to say, see, this isn't going to last. So either way, this game turned out the way that I think most Flyers fans will agree with, whether they're optimist or pessimist. It was Sandstrom versus Bobrovsky, the President's Trophy being raised, or the banner being raised, not the trophy itself. That'd be crazy. We've raised all the trophies. Don't stand under them. So yeah, Florida, of course, not. There wasn't a big deal really with the President's Trophy, but there should be. I mean, honestly, you're the #1 team in the NHL for the regular season. That's something to be proud of. There's pushing after a hold by Sandstrom. There's a lot of pushing in this game. Panthers had the early jump. They go to the power play. Hornquist is denied. Good cycle. There's a post for Luostarinen. It's killed off just the one shot. But then the Panthers press and they score. At 6 minutes and 6 seconds, it's Verhaeghe from Barkov and Gudas. Sandstrom was down, and so he fired it high into the net. The Flyers answer almost immediately, but there's an offside challenge, and yes, he loses control of the puck going into the zone, and so he's offside. Shots are 8-2 for the Panthers at 8 minutes. Forsling is then robbed, but on the same shift, he gets an assist as Verhaeghe gets a second of the period. Forsling and Barkov with the assists at 8 minutes and 38 seconds. That's scored on a rush. That's the 10th shot already for Florida. So the defensive side of things for Philadelphia, a little slow to catch up. One thing with Philly, the comebacks are great. They're fun to watch, but eventually the comebacks fall short, and they've got to start on time. And I'm sure Tortorella will be discussing that with them. Flyers press with 8.5 minutes left. The Panthers get a power play. There was a near miss for Reinhart. It's killed off. No shots actually reached the net. And then Sealer buries one on a rush. Only his 4th career goal at 16:31. Hayes and McEwen with the assist. So McEwen, who just got called up, gets on the board with an assist. The Flyers get a power play. That led to a lot of shorthanded chances for Florida. There was a Tkachuk chance that was held. Barkov rush held as well. They did kill that off. 32.7 seconds left. The Flyers go back to the power play. So that rolls over into the second period. Panthers finish the kill, just the one shot allowed. The lights flickered, and I thought it was my TV until the announcers said the lights flickered in the building. So I don't know what that was, but it's one of those things where you're like, okay, are the lights going to go out, or what's going to happen here? It would not be the first time the lights have gone out in an NHL arena. Flyers get a power play. It's unrelated, but it's on the same play. So I had to put unrelated so that people didn't look at the board, those who can read it, and say, wait, so they got a power play because the lights flickered? Was it the Panthers? No, I can't prove it was the Panthers. I can't prove it. Shorthanded Barkov rush ends up being defended. Barkov really good shorthanded. That power play is killed off. The shots are 5-2 for Florida at 6.5 minutes. So even though Philadelphia's had a lot of time on the power play, Florida's controlling the shot clock. The Flyers get zone time. They're not getting the shots. Reinhart fires one wide from the slot. Reinhart had a hard time hitting the net tonight. Things get punchy after a Sandstrom hold. The Panthers end up coming out of that with a power play. Reinhart's denied in close. We get 6 seconds of 4-on-4, which means the Flyers have a power play coming out of it. They score on theirs. Van Riemsdyk from Farabee and Konechny at 15-16. So the power play for Philadelphia has been off to a good start thus far this year. He buried that rebound, and just Bobrovsky lost the puck. Like, he just put it through him. Pushing after a Sandstrom hold before the period's out, but we go to the third period with the score tied at 2. Early press for the Panthers. Eventually, they score, and it was a fantastic deep by Balcers. He scores from Bennett and Tkachuk at 3:51. He buries it top shelf. No chance on that one for Sandstrom. Frost is then denied on a break. The shots are 6-4 for the Panthers at 8 minutes, and at 9:08, Mahura gets the insurance goal from Bennett and Tkachuk. So Bennett and Tkachuk on the board with a couple of assists each in that third period. Mahura fired glove side on a rush opportunity, so yeah, Sandstrom Not much chance on that. JVR is then denied on a rush. The Flyers get a power play. That was killed off by Florida. 4:28 left. They pulled the goaltender. With 2:31 left, it goes to a 6-on-4 as Florida takes a penalty. What that allowed them to do was ice the puck. So you don't have to worry about it being icing because you're shorthanded. So they just kept icing the puck. With 39.2 seconds left shortly before the power play is over, Philadelphia calls a timeout. Eventually, they get a goal. Konechny scores from D'Angelo and Hayes, but that's at 19:58. So Philadelphia does make it a one-goal game. They lose 4-3. They go to 3-1 on the season with the loss. Florida goes to 3-1 on the season with the win. The shots in this one favored Florida in the first 14-8 and favored them 12-7 in the second. In the third, they outshot Florida 19-9. So Florida last year known as a very good third period team, and tonight in their own barn, Philly did a good job. They just could not solve Bobrovsky soon enough. Final shots are 35-34 for Florida. Power plays, Philadelphia 1 for 6, Florida 0 for 3. Hits 18-12 Philadelphia. Sandstrom saves 31 out of 35. Bobrovsky 31 out of 34. Sandstrom was good, but not as good as Carter Hart, and he is still seeking his first career victory. So maybe in the next game, right? All right, next up, Winnipeg. Winnipeg in against Colorado. And it's funny how it's early in the season, and yet it felt like Winnipeg needs this one because Winnipeg tomorrow night's in Vegas. So if they lose this one, they're going into Vegas the next night. Then we'd be looking at probably a Winnipeg team that's 1-3 to start the season, right? Canucks could dream. Hellebuck versus Georgiev in this one. Early press by the Jets, some good opportunities. McKinnon then had a rush chance that saved. That save then deflects out of the building, or at least off the ice. Not completely out of the building, just right through the roof. Jets get a power play, and they score on it. It's Gagner, who's looked good in Winnipeg thus far, from Lowry and Perfetti at 6:52. And the shots are 6-2 for the Jets, 9 minutes into the period. So the Jets came out and played very well in Colorado. That's admirable. Then Bleed couldn't bury one on a fast break for Colorado. Momentum had shifted. Rodriguez tries a wraparound. That won't go. Rodriguez still looking for his first point as an Avalanche. We have 2 minutes of 4-on-4, and during that, on a rush, Pionk gets on the board to make it 2-0 from Appleton and Morrissey at 13:21. Conrad has a net feed that's held. The Jets press with 4 minutes left. Pionk's denied. The Avs rush. The Avs would even up the shots before the period's out. But yeah, it's 2-0 Winnipeg after the first. It feels like, hey, things are pretty good. But again, 60-minute game's a problem, and that middle frame was a problem for Winnipeg again. Second period, the Avs press. The Jets are shot blocking, but on another good press by the Avs, they do score. It's Rantanen from McKinnon and Taves at 2 minutes and 14 seconds. Jets try to answer. Johnson then had a chance held as the Avs press again. And the pinching by the defense was very noticeable in this game. Eric Johnson was at the net quite a bit. We have a power play for the Jets then. That was killed off. The Jets press at 7 minutes. The Avs press back at 8.5. The Jets block. And eventually they go up by 2 goals again. It's Cole Perfetti with his first of the season from Wheeler and Dubois at 9:44. Cross crease pass and buried. So great pass by Wheeler. Perfetti makes no mistake. Jets then press for another. Perfetti with a net feed. That's blocked. The Avs do clear it out. Then there's a post for Sandberg. Georgiev had lost track of that puck. It was almost in that net. Makar then had a shot block as they press. And then Rantanen scores from Byram and Nichushkin at 16:26. Nice press, good cycle, and it's in the back of the net. Colorado, when they got it going on, they show you why they won the Stanley Cup last year. Avs get a power play with 2 minutes and 10 seconds left, and not long into it, they score, they tie the game. It's Nichushkin on the power play. That's his 4th power play goal already this year. From Rantanen and Makar at 18:27. And then the Avs press in the closing seconds. So the crowd's loud. The team's confident. They're playing really well. We're going into the third period tied at 3. Early press by the Jets. The Avs then press, but the Jets are doing a good job of blocking shots at this stage. Johnson's then denied and close as again. Eric Johnson pinching from the point. Shots are 4-1 for the Avs at 5 minutes. We had 2 minutes of 4-on-4. Lehkonen was denied on a 2-on-1. With 4.5 minutes left, the Avs, they get some pressure and some opportunities. But the Jets, they press back. They're kept to the outside. And you kind of knew this one was going to end up going to overtime, right? So it does. 2 out of 3 games tonight go to overtime. In the overtime, the Avs controlled early. There was a near miss by Rantanen, and the puck goes the other way. Appleton gets it to Pionk. He scores the 2nd goal of the game, at 31 seconds. The Jets steal one in Colorado. They go to 2-1 with the 4-3 win. Colorado drops to 2-1-1 with the overtime loss. The shots in this one, 11-10 Winnipeg in the first, 14-11 Colorado in the second, 10-5 Colorado in the third. Just the one shot on net in the overtimes by Winnipeg. That's the one that matters. Final shots 34-28 for Colorado. Power plays, Winnipeg 1 for 2, Colorado 1 for 1. Hits, both teams had 27 hits. Hellebuck saves 31 out of 34. Georgiev saves 24 out of 28. We will discuss goaltending at some point. I'm going to say a month into the season is a good time to discuss goaltending. It will be interesting to see how the goaltending for Colorado measures up. Because, again, Georgiev and Francouz, neither of them have ever been a starter in the NHL. It's a different kind of pressure. It's different than being the backup, and so we'll see what their numbers look like. Early on, it's not great. But, again, we'll see where those numbers trend as we get further into the season. Last game of the night here, St. Louis in against Seattle. And, you know, I'm going to come out and say I really wanted to see Seattle pull this one off. They've never won a home game in overtime. If a game's going to overtime in Seattle and you're a Seattle fan, you can just put your jacket on and leave. And when somebody says to you, why are you going? Well, this game's done and I'm just trying to beat traffic, which in Seattle, good luck. And I say that having witnessed a lot of Seattle traffic and having been through it a few times. So it's Binnington versus Jones. Martin Jones stuck on 199 wins. Spoiler alert, he does not get number 200 tonight. Early jumps for the Blues. Then there's a delay game called. The Blues get a power play on that. Things get pushy after Jones holds on to one. Saad was denied. Dangerous power play. It's killed off and manages 3 shots. Barbashev versus Donato after Wright gets hit by Barbashev. There wasn't enough punches thrown to qualify as a fight, so we end up with 2 minutes of 4-on-4 coming out of that. Actually, no, the Blues come out of that with the power play, so they both got 2 minutes, but there was the extra 2 that gave the Blues the power play. That's killed off, but right after it ends, Kyrou opens the scoring from Parayko and Leddy at 7:16. So he put that one through Jones. It's one of those ones that you see and you go, you kind of want to save there, right? But to their credit, they come back and they tie it. It's Borgen scoring from Wenberg and Bjorkstrand at 10:51, and it was a good press that led to that goal. So Seattle, I will say, early in the season, there's more structure to their game, I think. I think they're playing better. I know the wins haven't shown that yet, but I think they will. So Seattle presses for the lead. However, Shen has a glorious opportunity, and then his second attempt goes in. Tarasenko and Thomas with the assists at 11:55. And then seconds later, at 12:12, it is Falk from Shen and Tarasenko. It's a rush goal, and things don't look good for Seattle. All of a sudden, St. Louis is up 3-1. It's still in the first period, and Seattle calls their timeout. Whatever was discussed in the timeout worked pretty well. Thomas fires one high on a rush with 2:01 left. The Blues get their third power play. There was a shorthanded rush chance for Gord when he didn't have a stick. That was brilliant. I don't know what you would look up for that, but it's a brilliant play by Gord that he clears it. He's kicking the puck all the way down the ice, and he's fighting off 3 guys while he's kicking the puck. It's really quite impressive to watch. So they do kill that off. We go to the second period with the score 3-1. Seattle presses. They're kept to the outside. Donato's denied from a sharp angle. Schwartz is denied. The Blues then rush. Soucy is robbed. Binnington holds onto the puck there. Both goalies were making good saves. Saad gets robbed at the other end. Shots are 5-3 for the Kraken at 7 minutes, and it felt like all 8 of those shots were really good prime opportunities. There's a net feed to Saad. That was cleared. There's a press by the Kraken at 9.5 minutes. Eventually, they score. It's Donato, who had a breakaway, and he's denied initially, but the puck's still loose, so he just puts it in the net. He scores from Tanev and Wright at 10:44. So Shane Wright has the assist added, and it's announced at the start of the third period. So initially, it just said Tanev with the assist, Shane Wright with his first point. He gets that before Slafkovsky gets his, right? So anyways, there you go. Seattle makes it 3-2. The Blues nearly answer the next shift. This is something Seattle's going to want to work on, is that shift after they score a goal. Don't ask Vancouver. So Burakovsky is then, has a rush opportunity, fires wide on that. Leddy's denied, Seattle rushes, and they score. It's Larson from Wenberg and Bjorkstrand at 18:31. That went in off Krug's stick. The comment of the night was the announcer saying, well, Krug's stick was broken, And Panger pointing out, yeah, because he broke it after the goal went in because he shot it into his own, like it went off his stick into the net. So Schwartz then had a net feed that was held, but coming out of the second period, it's a tie game, same as over here. Third period, Wenberg has a net drive that saved. Donato had a rush chance that saved. They press. I did start writing smaller because I understood that it was going to be tough to get everything in, and I already figured this one's going to go overtime too, isn't it? Yep. So Wright's denied. The Blues cleared out. I think that was Wright's best opportunity at a goal. And I mean, his parents are in attendance, so they wanted to see it. Didn't get it, but they got that first point. Shots are 4-1 for Seattle at 5 minutes. Donato's robbed again. Ryan Donato was all around the net. Really dangerous plays tonight. Very good player. Neighbors then decides to net crash. Guys do this, and that leads to some punching. That's where your scrum gets involved, where everybody's kind of had enough. And when you crash the net and crash the goalie, that's going to happen. So Seattle comes out of all that with a power play, but St. Louis, to their credit, they killed it off, did not allow a shot to Seattle on that one. McCann fires one wide from the slot. Barbashev's denied from the slot as overtime's looming, and it arrives. Beniers has a rush chance that was blocked. There's good rush chances for both teams. Seattle gets a shot that's saved. Gord has a shot. It's Gord's shot that's held. And then Falk scores from Tarasenko at 2 minutes and 10 seconds. So Seattle still has not won an overtime game at home. Your final score is 4-3 in overtime. Seattle drops to 1-2-2. St. Louis goes to 2-0. Stay undefeated. It's only 2 games, but they stay undefeated. And their game is really, their schedule's really light for games over the first, I'll say, 2.5 weeks of the schedule. It's weird, isn't it? That teams are going to have played 7 or 8 games before they've played their 4th. But anyways, the shots in this one, 12-10, St. Louis in the first, 12-10, Seattle in the second, 12-6, Seattle in the third. They played very well. In the overtime, both teams have 1 shot. Seattle's is the one that matters. Final shots, 35-29 for Seattle. Power plays, St. Louis 0-3, Seattle 0-1. Hits were 17-15 Seattle. Not an overly physical game, although there was some punching. Binnington, 32 saves on 35 shots. Jones, 25 saves on 29 shots. So, there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below, as always. Every game had 7 goals in it tonight, so scoring remains up. And this is kind of I think that's the perfect balance, is that 4-3 game. I saw the comment on the channel, 4-3 games perfect. I agree. I think 4-3 is a perfect score. And there we are. We had 3 of them tonight. Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.